Everything Mike P says. Me and Mike P trade texts every now and then and just talk about how he's doing in camp and just how camp is going for both of us. And he seemed to be doing well. He said he got 2 more preseason games, 1 more now. So I hope the best for him.
But you do expect those records to fall?
Sure. I mean, I'm not really worried about records. The one record of his that I would like is to break is, he was able to take his team to the ACC championship game, and I would like to take this team there and actually win it this time.
As we get into game week now, how comfortable are you feeling in this offense after spring and summer?
Very comfortable. And I would be scared if I wasn't. Coach Morris does a great job of teaching this offense through walkthroughs at a very slow tempo until we're able to understand it, because the tempo that he wants, that fast pace, means nothing if you don't know the offense.
How excited are you guys to roll this offense out in a real game?
It's so exciting. Like going against our defense, Coach Steele is arguably one of the best at what he does, and going against him and competing against them is fun. But eventually they catch on to a lot of the things we do, and we don't have as much success. So, being able to go against another team is going to be fun, and really a measuring stick. Troy is no donkey team at all. They're a very good team, and they have a lot of tradition, and we're looking forward to taking them on.
Are you expecting not to get much rest during the games again this year?
Oh, no. I have some reliable depth behind me, Brandon Ford and Chad Deal and Daryl Smith and Sam Cooper. So I'm going to be able to be spelled in different moments throughout the game, which should only benefit me as the season goes along.
Was depth an issue for you last year? Was that part of the reason maybe why you had some struggles in the second half of the season? Or?
Right. My legs, I didn't know how to take care of my body. Just point blank. I didn't know how to get ready for a game, how to stay fresh, and I didn't have reliable depth last year. So coming into this year with some guys behind me that can come in and help take the pressure off of me, take some reps away from me, that's going to help me out and allow me to have my legs later on in the season.
Now, you say you did know how to take care of your body. Have you learned? And what have you changed?
Just my daily routines and what I do after practice. And this year I get stretched after every practice. I understand the importance of stretching and flexibility, so I get stretched after every practice. Whenever I have time, I roll my legs and get in the cold tub just so they can stay fresh. And definitely I'm going to take advantage. One thing that I didn't take advantage of this year that I'm going to take advantage of, last year that I'm going to take advantage of this year, is that we get massage. We have massages on Thursdays, and that was something that I was just like, those guys just want to get rubbed down. But but it actually does help, and I'm definitely going to take that on this year.
Were you right about that?
Well, they did just want to get rubbed down, but they were able to retain their legs. So,
Dwayne, what's the biggest difference in your role this year than last?
The leadership. It was a role that Coach Sweeney wanted me to take on last year, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready from a player standpoint or my personal. I had a lot of maturing to do in order to take on that role, and the guys around me just had to see me mature, and I believe that's something that I did, and that role is way different from the role I had last year, where I was just there to make plays. Now this year, not necessarily. I don't need to make all the plays. We have so many playmakers this year, which is great. But just whenever times get tough, we never had a guy to step up and say something, and I'm going to be that guy this year.
You think it's accurate to say you could be targeted less, I guess, but be more productive just in terms of big plays and average per catch?
Correct. Because when you spread that field out, and there you have guys on the outside such as Sammy Watkins and Jerron Brown and a speedy back like a Ellington and Bellamy to spread the field, that tight end gets a lot of love in the middle of the field, and defenders aren't as quick to jump on him like last year. Last year against the Miami game, they put their best corner pound for pound. Forgot his name, number 1. Excuse me, but he was manned up on me the entire game. You know, and that's because we didn't establish that outside threat yet. But this year, hopefully those guys get comfortable early and become a threat.
Been meaning to ask you about this, but a couple of years ago, you got a 15-yard penalty for something as simple as a salute. This year, the rules have changed that now they can take the touchdown back. Have the coaches talked to you guys about that? And does it make you afraid to do anything once you actually would score?
They have really harped on, you know, just act like you've been there before, and the importance of that new rule and how the touchdown can be taken off the board, and that's great. Rules are there for a reason, and I understand that. I just wish it went both ways, because defensive players I feel like a touchdown to a defensive player would be a sack, and they get up and celebrate all they want after, you know, defensive plays, and there's no penalties for excessive celebration or anything like that. So I just wish it went both ways, but rules are there for a reason, and I got chewed out pretty bad for that salute afterwards by Coach Sweeney. I mean, the rest of the first half, during halftime, coming out of halftime. So there won't be any celebration from me.
Dwayne, you talked about how Coach Steele kind of caught on to the offense a little bit in practice, and y'all weren't having as much success. Do you still feel like you're having more success than you did last year?
Oh yes. It's like I said, Coach Morrison and Coach Steele. You know, we have scripted practices, and sometimes one of them will get upset about something and decide to go off script. And you know, whenever the other one finds out that he's off script, they're some competitors. Those guys compete in practice, and that's what I love about going to practice. I love being able to compete against our defense, because it not only makes us better, but it makes them.
Do you feel like, are there more answers in this offense depending on what the defense does?
A lot more, and it's easy. Coach Morris teaches it so that not only that we understand that, like, that it's an answer for this, but we understand why. You know, there's why. He answered the why around everything, so we're not just running stuff to run it. We understand that if we see 2 high safeties, or if we see some type of field pressure, we might check to the screen. We know which screens that we have in place to check to, so that whenever it's called, we're anticipating it instead of reacting to it.
So you think Morris is doing a better job of teaching this year than?
He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job of teaching. Coach Pyramid. Coach Pyramid's always been a great teacher. You know, he does this thing where he tells stories. That's his way of teaching, and some of his stories, man, I'm gonna have to start recording them and writing them down and write a book later on, because they're hilarious.
You got one example?
Let's see here. Coach Pyramid. He always talk about Wally Pipp. He always bring up Wally Pipp, and that one's always hilarious, because he always talk about, DA, you go down if you want to. You ever heard of Wally Pipp? Nah, Coach, never heard of Wally Pipp.
What kind of goals do you have for yourself this year? I mean, I think you talked last year about how the Mackey Award was a big thing for you, and I know that you were upset being just the semifinals and semifinals for that award.
As far as personal goals go, I don't really like putting those out, because they are personal. and the biggest thing about it is my personal goals does not oversee my team goals. And my team goals are what come first. And I want to win, and I want to win at the highest level.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Dwayne. Appreciate it, man.